Hello everyone and welcome back. So in this episode we're going to start working on our magic teacher. It's going to be fairly similar to the item shop but with some minor changes. So you'll be able to see what spells they got available. Each one will be able to sell different spells, but if I buy the fireball, see it, I bought it, and if I try to buy it again, it won't let me. That way you can kind of have a built-in fail-safe, like you're not wasting money on a spell you already got. So just to show you, see I got those 3 spells, so if I try to buy the fire again, it doesn't work, I already know it. So let's jump over to our project and get started. So just like the shopkeeper, this is going to be based off the base interactable. You can technically duplicate the shopkeeper and then make some alterations to it. I'm gonna just go through the process again. And then the next video will probably be just showing the duplication method if that's what you want to do. But for now, I want y'all to be able to see the process. So I'm going to create another child blueprint of my base interactable. This is going to be my magic teacher underscore, oh, is that 2? Yeah. Underscore BP. And then I'm going to create her own folder, his own folder, their own folder, whatever. Magic teacher. And I'm just going to move that right into there. Just like that. Now, one thing I am going to duplicate from the shopkeeper is I'm going to grab from the construction script all this stuff that we set up to be able to alter the mesh. So I'm going to Control C and I'm just going to take that over. So I'm going to open up my magic teacher. I'm going to, oh, what is this? I don't know what that was. Okay, I'm gonna clear out the item mesh and add my skeletal mesh. Compile, and then in the construction script just add all that crap. Just like that. Now we might need to do a certain number of things, like we'll just create that variable right there, and we're gonna create that variable right there. So that's looking pretty good. Now we also want to make sure that those eyes on the variables are clicked so that they're open so that we can edit them from inside this window. So now you can see I can, oh, that's the shopkeeper. Where's my, so if I drag my magic shop out, I'll just go ahead and set her to that, and then now she's got all her animations already set up. So the first thing we need to do in order to have this working the way it should is we need to create our shop interface for her. So I'm going to add a widget blueprint. It's going to be my magic shop underscore W. Then I'm going to create one more widget blueprint, magic shop icon underscore W. Now I am going to open the icon first. So in here I'm going to go to the top right, and we don't want it to fill the screen. This is going to be like our inventory button, so we want it to be desired on screen. Well, everything is gone, but it'll be alright. So I'm going to drag out a button and set it onto that canvas panel, and then now we can see what we're working with. So for the size X and size Y, it's going to be 75. Then I'm going to drag out a text onto it and set its size to about 10 and its typeface to italic. Italic, maybe light. Maybe italic, just a little fanciness. Then I'm going to set its justification to the center so that it's right there in the center. Now I am going to highlight the text block, and I'm going to change the name of it to spell name, and I want that to be a variable. So I'm going to click that little box right there, compile that. Then I'm going to head over into the graph, get rid of the pre-construct and the tick. We don't need that. Now in the variables, I'm going to add spell info. That is going to be of our spell info structure. Compile that. Grab out my button, get that bad boy, and then off that thing we're going to make style. What was it? Is it make style? I'm just going to type style. Set style, not make style. So we're going to set that style. Alright, off the in style, I'm going to drag off. We want to make that button style. Now, we're going to drag out that spell info variable and break it open. Now, from the normal on the make button, just like we did last time, we're going to make that slate brush. And then I'm going to hook it to the pressed also, because I want those to be looking the same. I'm going to hook that spell image into the image. Drag everything up in place so it looks nice and neat. Now, from the hovered, I'm going to do the same thing. Make slate brush. Hook that spell image right into there, and off the tint, we want to make a slate color. Now this will just be a little color overlay that goes right over the top of it. I'm going to set it to 0.1 so it's got that nice gray look to it so we can tell that we're hovering over that one. Now at the very end we want to drag out our spell name variable, get it, and we want to set the text parentheses text. Parenthetical. Not a word, but I'm still using it. I like it. It might be a word. I don't know. I'm going to drag out my spell info one more time, break it open. Now, we didn't put a spell name text icon in this one, but we can use that spell name enumerator. So I'm going to drag off and convert it to a string. So enum to string. And then once that's done, we can just plug that right in there, and that'll bring out exactly what we need. So that's our icon done. So now we need to go into our shop widget itself. Now I'm going to make this pretty much exactly the same way as the item shop widget, minus we don't need a cell side. So first thing I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to right click and I'm going to wrap the canvas panel with a scale box and a size box. Now my size box, I'm going to do my width and height override at 1920 by 1080. That way it's always at the right proportions. Now for the canvas panel, I'm going to search in my palette box. I'm going to search for another canvas panel. Drop it right on. Make sure I've got that one selected because I'm going to set its anchor to the left, center left. Set its X and Y positions both to 0, and for the Y alignment, I'm going to set it to 0.5 so that it's halfway off that anchor. Now for position X, I'm going to set that to about 50. And then I'm going to go take a look at something real quick, because I do not remember. Canvas panel, 425 and 750. That'll be great. Alright, so size X is 425 and size Y is 750. And that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to drag off an image and set it onto that second canvas panel. Anchor it all the way to the full canvas. Set its offsets to that. And then I'm going to turn it black and set the alpha to 0.5. Just because I like a little, you know, that little menu look, suppose you could say. Now in the palette, I am going to look for a uniform grid panel and set it to the second canvas. I'm going to highlight that uniform grid because this is going to be our spell grid. And it is also going to be a variable. Then I'm going to size it to content. With that compiled, we can go into the graph. Now I'm going to delete the pre-construct and the tick just like last time. And right now I'm going to add all the variables we need, and then we'll go into our actual magic teacher. So right now I'm just going to set up my teacher reference, which will be a reference to our magic teacher object reference. Going to add another one. Since we're using the uniform grid panel, we're going to need the row, the column, and the column length. So this one will be my row. It'll be an integer. Then I'll have my column. Then I will have my column length. Now I'm going to compile that so that I can default the column length to 5. You can set it to whatever you like. I just personally like that. So now off the construct, I'm going to drag out my row, set it. I want to leave it set to 0. column, same thing, set it to 0. This way, every time it's constructed, goes straight back to base and then builds from there. One thing we could do further, I'm going to drag, well, we don't even get to drag it. I'll just do it right here. I'm going to drag out my spell grid, and I'm going to clear children. So it's unnecessary the first time you do it, but if we start calling this thing over and over again, it'll come in handy to just go ahead and have it right there. It won't do anything. If it's empty, it'll just say, alright, it's empty, skip, basically. So now what we want to do is we need to compile this, and now we need to alter our magic teacher so we can actually have a list for it to, build. So I'm going to add a couple variables. First one is going to be the spell inventory. Now this is going to be a spell info structure that we have converted into an array. So with it selected over here in the variable type, we can set array. Compile that. Now we need oh crap, what happened? I hit enter, I guess. Now we need spells expected. Now this is going to be our spell, oh, why do you do that? Spell names, that enumerator we made. And it's also going to be an array, so we can leave it like that. But I am going to click that little I. That way we can adjust it from the editor. So let's see how we did that in the shopkeeper. Did we do that off begin player, or was it off interact? Ah, it's off the interact. Alright, so in my magic teacher, I'm going to get rid of all these. Don't need them. Compile, and then we want to get our event interact function. And I'm going to check and see how long this video, 12 minutes, that's not bad. Alright, we're good. Now the event interact, right. Alright, we want to see if the shop window is open. That way each time we interact, we can either open it if it's closed or close it if it's open. So I'm going to add a variable that is shop window open question mark. It can be just shop open, whatever you like. I'm going to make it a boolean, and I'm going to set it back to a single instance. We don't want an array of that one. I'm going to add a branch. Hook that shop window open to it, and if false, as in the window is not open, then we want, I'm going to check real quick one more time. Okay, magic teacher. Alright, so I'm going to drag out my spells expected. I'm going to get the length. Oh no, I'm just going to get type length. I always want to type get length, and you can just type length into it. So I'm going to add a for loop, because we want to do this for however many items are in that array. So I'm from the length going to subtract 1 so that it fits in line with our array format. So from the loop body, we want to get data table row. Now, data table will be our spells data table this time. Now, from our spells expected, we're going to get a copy of the item that is at this index, and we want to get, no. We want to enum to string, and then plug that string right into there. So it converts to a string to a name straight into there. Now from the out row, when it finds the spell that we're looking for, we want to add it to our inventory. So I'm going to grab out the spell inventory and get that. No, I want to grab out my spell inventory and add a unique copy. That's what I want to do. So from the out row is what we're going to add. And I'm going to check one more time to make sure I ain't throwing y'all way off. Okay, this is all the extra stuff. So we're adding the spell to the thing, then we'll show our shop. Okay, so magic teacher. Alright, so once we've added every instance of spells expected to our spells inventory array, then we want to create a custom event called show shop. Just like we did last time. So off the completed, we will show shop. So once it's done adding every spell to its array, it'll just create this widget for us. So I am going to create widget, and the widget is going to be the magic shop, and I am going to add to viewport. Feel like there's something I'm missing. Magic shop. Oh right, we can't do it just yet. That's right. Okay. Oh, that is what I'm missing. Okay. So when we create that magic shop widget, we need to set the magic teacher. Wait. Magic shop widget, magic shop teacher. I just called it teacher. Okay. So we need to set teacher. We'll set it to a reference of the self so that it knows it's referencing this blueprint and this list. Then we'll add it to viewport. And I'll double check my shop keep. Alright. So right now this is looking good. What we can do is we can go ahead and promote this to a variable also, just for ease later on. So off the create shop magic shop widget, whatever, I'm going to promote that to a variable called widget. Now at the very end, after we show shop, we want to set that the shop window is open. You can do this here, you can do this on this, it's up to you. Doesn't make it very much of a difference. But then we want to, did I set it positive? Yes. Alright, so then if the shop window is open, we want to grab our shop widget and we want to remove from parent. Then we will set that the shop window is closed. So if we compile this and jump in real quick, right now I can run up to her. It ain't gonna do, she ain't gonna have nothing because I haven't set nothing up. So I'm gonna click her right here under spells expected. I want her to have fireball and heal and shield wall. Why not? And they ain't showing up. Oh, because right, so in the magic shop widget we actually have to set up for it to build that inventory. I'm dumb, I'm sorry. So after we clear the children, we have everything set to default. Then we need to actually grab out our spell grid, grab out our teacher, not set teacher, get teacher. We will get the teacher, and we are going to get spells inventory. Now we're going to get the length of that and subtract 1, just like we did in the other place, because we're also going to do a for loop here. For loop, right? Yeah, I don't know, I thought it was going to be a for each loop for a second. I'm sorry. Alright, so yeah, for loop. So we're going to check the length of the spell inventory and then subtract 1 so that it's in line with our array format. And now for the loop, we want to create widget. Now the widget is going to be this magic shop icon. I'm going to drag this over here because we'll need that over here. I'm going to do set spell info. We are going to, from our spell inventory, get a copy of the item at this index and set it to the new button we just created. Then from our spell grid, we want to add the child to the uniform grid. Just like that. And the content that we want to add is the widget icon that we just created. So I'm going to hook my row integer here, column integer here, and then afterwards we want to get out our column variable and we want to increment it so that every single time it fires through, it moves to the next slot. Now, once it does, we want to check to see if it's greater than or equal to the column length that we established. And if it is, B left click for a branch. Then we want to set the column back to 0, grab out our row, and increment that one. That way it'll decide it's at the end, let's move down, do it again, move down, do it again, etc. So now when I jump in and talk to this lady, yeah, there's the little icons in her screen, like they should be. So I can add one real quick. Let's see, Ice Spike. Yeah, now she's got all of them. Oh, I always do that. Alright, this one's running a little bit long, so in the next one we will start, we'll do some more fine-tuning of the actual widget. We'll establish that she's going to use the same camera kind of system if you wanted to do that, and set our input mode to, show the cursor and all that fancy stuff, that makes shops actually usable rather than just something to look at. So I will see y'all soon. Oh, one thing I keep forgetting to mention. Save. Save often, save regular, save. Speaking of save, we are going to be moving on to the save system fairly soon now that we have all of the base variables in place for our character. We'll be moving on to that soon. So I will see y'all in the next one, and we'll fix this up a bit further. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.